Hey loves, this is Janelle, the relationship coach behind the Successful Invisible, and I'm here with another episode of Response and React. You cannot love a man out of his dysfunction. Men with toxic boy moms. Let's talk about the part of modern dating nobody wants to say out loud, but every grown woman has lived through. You're not just dating him, you're dating the ecosystem that protects him. Because here's what's gagging me: when a man is wrong, loud, reckless, cheating, unstable, or even allegedly violent, his support system suddenly becomes a PR team. Not a family, not accountability, not correction, a whole PR team. And the first target is always the woman who finally says, I'm done. That's why these situations with Offset and DDG hit a nerve. Not because they're celebrities, because the pattern is common. A grown man spirals, and his boy mom jumps out of the bushes to fight the woman instead of addressing her son. And ladies, I need this to land. A toxic boy mom will raise a man who thinks consequences are optional and respect is negotiable. So if dating has been feeling exhausting, confusing, or like you keep ending up in these why am I the only adult here relationships, stay with me. Because today we're breaking down how to spot the signs early, how to protect your peace, and why being patient with potential men can cost you years you can't ever get back.
When you meet a man who's in the gutter or at his lowest point, step over him and leave him there, because if you don't, he will drag you down there with him. Case in point, Cardi B and Offset. So she got with him however many years ago, and according to what I've been seeing online about both of them, the man cheated on her repeatedly, and then when she finally got some self-respect and left him because she said, I need to be a mother to my children rather than being a doormat to you, he then crashes out, and now he's trying to get his family involved because she cut off the money to him because apparently he wasn't handling his weight financially. She was the one supporting him as well as taking care of his family. But let me bring this up to many of y'all, okay? So a lot of y'all women out here, y'all are with men who economically are not your equal, who from a mentality perspective are not your equal, from a spiritual perspective, they are not your equal. And you're sitting up here thinking that if you wait around long enough, he will become your equal. If you help him enough, he will become your equal. If you show him how to be a good spouse, he'll eventually become that. If he is not your equal and not of the same mindset, equally yoked with you from day one, he will never become that. What he will do is exactly what Offset did. He will allow you to carry him for some time, and then eventually, once he gets to where he wants to be or just gets comfortable, he will start to resent you, because ultimately he will know deep down inside that you deserve more than him. And at any point in time when you do get some dignity, you will leave him for something better. And therefore, what he'll try to do is tear you down so he can lower your self-esteem so that you won't leave him, hoping that if he rips you apart, that you won't recognize your worth. Leave him. Allow him to continue self-sabotaging his life, but you don't have to be in it while he's doing it.
Offset mama know Cardi B about to make a song about her. Cause why is you involving yourself in them people's business? These mamas don't know how to stay in their place. That's the same thing that happened with Halle Berry and DDG mama. Just being in their son business, but never being their son business when their son be out here doing bullshit. When your son was out here messing with all these females, you never got on this internet and said anything. Now you asking for DNA tests and all this and the other. Didn't we do all these DNA tests before for the first set of kids? If he ain't complaining about it, then why are you? Why these mamas never stay in their place? Like, you telling this girl, oh, don't drag out the divorce and this, that, and the other. Lady, I never heard of you or anything you had going on prior to all of this. When Offset was out here doing the hocus pocus and the Humpty Dumpty with all these people, mama was on hush. Now all of a sudden, oh, she needs to hurry up and let it be what it's going to be and this and the other. Bye, mama. You ain't got nothing to do with this.
I am so sick of upset with his bullshit and the bullshit that comes with him. So the other day, I stumbled onto this thing that says his mother said that, oh no, she didn't say, no. Let me switch that. She gave Cardi B an ultimatum on her and Upset's kid. She told Cardi B that she should get a DNA test on Blossom. And if she does not get a DNA test on Blossom, she's going to take legal action and sue her. Bitch, are you fucking serious right now? Out of all people, you're going to accuse someone else of cheating when it was your narcissist hoe of a child out here fucking everybody, putting his seed in everybody? Get the fuck out of here. When it comes to court cases, I don't think you want to do that shit. Cause Cardi B hasn't lost one case. And if I was her, I would countersue the fuck out of you for stressing me the fuck out while I'm having my baby. Fuck wrong with you? And I'm trying to figure out who the hell gave you the right or said it was okay for you to tell her that. Like, you wasn't in her pussy. She didn't fuck you. The fuck is you talking about? Mamas like that need to mind their damn business. And the only thing she need to be doing is talking to that whole ass son of hers. The fuck is wrong with her? Then just last night, Upset drops an album, and on one of the songs he has, it's called No Sweat. And I looked at that title and I said, why do I feel like this is going to be a diss to Cardi B? I didn't play the whole entire song, but I played like a snippet of it. And the snippet said, I ain't hurting out here. How the hell you having a baby while you're still married? You're sick, get some help. No, bitch, your ass needs some help with your whole ass self, with your narcissistic person. Like, how dare you? Like, if you don't get yourself together, you are hurting out here. That's why your albums ain't selling. You own another album in 1 year. Get the fuck out of here. You need her. That's why you're trying to sue her with your broke ass. Right baby, wrong ass baby dad.
Let me get this straight. Right? You, the mother of said cheater, said liar, said cheater who told the women he cheated with to get a smushmortion with, emotionally abuser, an all-around evil person towards that woman. You want to get a DNA test on a baby that's not yours but the daddy. And if that baby is not the daddy's, you, grandma, want to sue for defamation. Even though you, grandma, this doesn't even affect you, the grandma. I don't hear no son saying this, but I hear you, the grandma on the daddy side, the family member on the daddy side, you are saying this.
Now, DDG and Halle, if you're unfamiliar with the situation, Halle has filed a restraining order and the judge granted it. DDG can't be around Halle or Halo. That's their son, if you don't know who that is. Because some of y'all be asking me questions like, who are these people? Just go look it up in your free time. But his mom, she says she don't do the social media stuff, but the lies on hers, she's going to talk about. You didn't live in the house with them. If a judge granted it, he or she saw enough information to grant the restraining order. Those kind of boy moms who know that their sons beat up on young women really bother me, because as a boy mom myself, it wouldn't be the judge or the police my son had to worry about if he ever raised his hand in anger to a girlfriend, a baby mama, or a woman, period, and his life was not in danger. That aggravates me. All the evidence right there, you got the nerve that's that boy mom delusion that they will have. So you mean to tell me that this judge is lying, Halle's lying, and this evidence is lying? Some women don't want to believe that their sons are abusive, and they will go to the ends of the earth. And that, I can't even say that it's not a black thing, it's not a white thing, it's an American thing. Asians and Latinos, we don't do that, okay? I'm not saying that it don't happen, but had DDG been one of ours, how we handle situations like that, he would have had to handle up with every woman in his family and then the men. See, Americans will defend their kids right or wrong. Emphasis on the wrong. Like, you know they wrong. The evidence is right there. We don't play that. Like I said, it's not a black thing or a white thing. That's an American thing. And she wrong for that.
Now, y'all see how we didn't hear from DDG's mom until Hal went and filed the restraining order and told the world that DDG put his hands on her. So the only reason this lady is speaking out is to discredit Hal. It's to try to slander her character and make her son look good. This lady is only speaking out to make her son look good. Do y'all see what type of world we live in? The moms of the abusers always play this, oh, I didn't say anything before game. Oh, I didn't know what was going on before. Now, I usually don't speak on things, but I'm going to speak now. Well, bitch, why speak now? Why not speak before? You never speak, but you want to speak now that the restraining order is on him. Now that she done pressed charges on him. Now that she done told the world that this man done put hands on her, now you got something. And this is the same thing that I went through with my baby father. His mother ain't had shit to say when he was putting hands on me. His mother ain't had shit to say when he was putting black eyes on my face and my lip was busted. When he put hands on me in her presence, Then she came to court and told a bold-ass face lie and said that he never put hands on me. He tried to. These niggas' moms be a huge part of the problem. No, they are not the problem, but they're a huge part of the fucking problem. And it's ridiculous because as a woman, why are you standing behind your son abusing somebody?
Behind every abusive man is a boy mom that enabled her. Yeah. DDG's mom is crashing out online, yelling at Halle Bailey, saying that he never hit her. Even though Halle went to her house right after he hit her and showed her what happened because he forced her to go with him to their house. And my thing about it is the fact that as a woman you can't even acknowledge when your child is wrong and you're just going to blindly support them, that's wild to me. But it also reflects the society that we live in which we're coddling men. There's this random podcast I was saying there's an attack on black men. There's an attack on black men. Like, how is there an attack on black men if the black men are the ones attacking people? Hello? We got P. Diddy, Chris Brown, DDG, R. Kelly, Dr. Dre. Like, hello, can we actually talk about these?
DDG's mother should have either A, minded her business and not said nothing, or B, should have publicly held her son accountable. Just like how she publicly disparaged Halle, she should have publicly told her son about himself. Because now Ladero was trying to have his mom be the court-appointed monitor for his supervised visits in Rome with Halo, and that got denied. Why? Because his mama was running her mouth. And we all know that Daryl wanted his mama to come so that way she could record him being a good dad with Halo, when ultimately she would be the one taking care of Halo. Halle said it herself that his mom takes care of Halo, not him. And in no way is the mama impartial, unbiased party. She's a narcissistic woman that raised two men that turned out to be abusers, enables them, so that means she doesn't see anything wrong with it. After Halle got her tooth allegedly chipped by DDG, she came to the house, told the mama and the family what happened. None of them cared. I wouldn't want her around my kid as a monitor either. Also, for all the teenage boys and boys with kids that they probably don't take care of, as well as the pick-me girls that decided to take DVD's side, especially after he showed those insignificant screenshots of Halle's and saying that postpartum depression is an excuse and Halle's crazy, Y'all realize that a judge saw those screenshots that DVD showed, and yet DVD is still having to do supervised visits. Think about that real quick. Daryl is only allowed to have supervised visits with his son. He's not even allowed to stream him going to Rome. Why do you think that is? Because Halle showed a judge a preponderance of evidence that showed that DDG cannot be trusted with the baby by himself. He needs a babysitter. And a judge agreed with her. Daryl waited a month after Halle was awarded temporary full custody to petition for full custody, just for him to get immediately denied and have to do supervised visits with his kid. The judge saw through his narcissism, and for y'all people that can't, y'all got 2 brain cells. And you know who else got 2 brain cells? India Love. Only a caw bird could be with a man that just had a TRO granted against him for DV. India, stand up.
I seem nice online and innocent and everything, but you guys do not know. I will go to battle with my yelling, with my words, everything. I'm good at that, right? And if I gotta yell or check anyone, that's what I gotta do. That's just the way I be. And if somebody pokes at me or the people that I love, it's over for you. I'm an Aries, sorry.
Y'all, it looks like Big Mama came in the house for DDG because Halle Bailey just got dragged by DDG's mom for filth. And it's looking like Halle gonna have to take on the entire family because DDG's mama Tanya put Halle on blast and accused her of lying on DDG when Halle claimed that DDG put his hands on her and was physically towards her while they were dating. Now, while Halle is not about to let them play in her face like that, not only did she put Tanya on blast, but she also pulled up with receipts to expose Tanya for being an enabler. According to Halle, Tanya has been enabling both of her sons to be bad partners to the women in their lives. Y'all, Halle is showing her cards and she big mad, and she is not sparing nobody. So let's get right up into this drama. It's not surprising that Halle is slamming Tanya, given that Tanya started shading Halle a few minutes after the news broke about Halle getting a restraining order against DDG. The wild part about this is that Tanya had to have known about the restraining order because DDG was most likely notified about it before it became public. Given the close relationship between Tanya and DDG, it goes without saying that he likely told her about it. Well, when the news broke on social media, Tanya immediately threw shade. She posted a Kermit the Frog writing, "Hello, Jesus, take the wheel." She also sneakily accused Halle of lying against her son, saying, "I don't usually comment or say anything on this internet, even with all the negativity, the lies, and hatred towards mine. However, these accusations have made me realize that I have been quiet too long." But then his sister TT also threw some shade, saying, "The devil is working, but God is working harder." She also had this to say.
I've already seen the TMZ post, and I'm not going to speak on it. So, yeah.
Just bye, come here.
To nobody's surprise, though, DDG's entire family is on his side 10 toes and has been accusing Halle of being the bad guy. However, fans soon did their own digging, and it kind of looks like Tanya is the reason DDG turned out the way that he did. Now, I'm not saying that she's a bad mother, but fans are convinced that she gives off your typical boy mom vibes, and not in a good way, if you know what I mean. For example, her name in social media is Tanya Made DDG, and I think that alone already tells us about what we need to know. There's also the fact that she seems to let her sons walk all over her.
I hate the way some moms will defend their sons till the end of time. Like, ma'am, what lies? She has evidence. Like, moms like this also need to be held accountable for their son's behavior to an extent. Because while, yes, their son is a grown man and he's old enough to know better, he shouldn't have done what he did, obviously, but mothers like this enable the behavior. When they're young, it starts out as, oh, boys will be boys. This is what it becomes. Some of you boy moms really get me sick to my stomach. Y'all son will commit every crime in the book, and y'all will still go to bat for y'all son. What a shame. This reminds me of when Diddy's mom defended him. I said this before, and I'll say it again. A bad person is a bad person. I don't care if they're your son, your baby boy, or your father, your brother, your aunts. I do not care. A bad person is a bad person, and they need to be held accountable. And it starts young and at home.
Let's jump into my favorite part of all of the content I post on YouTube, and that's just my thoughts, where I get to kind of express what I feel about whatever we have read or gone over. So let's get into it. All right, let's get into it. So there are like 5 main points that I want to emphasize about this dynamic where there are men who are very problematic and they have these toxic boy moms. So we have DDG and Halle Bailey, and then we have Cardi B and Offset. Now, we know that DDG and Halle Bailey are in their early 20s, younger couple, and Offset and Cardi B are late 20s, early 30s, and a little more established of a couple, and they're also married. So it is very imperative that people understand that toxic boy moms exist at every level. And in these 2 situations, though the situations that these celebrities are in are different, there are some similarities and some patterns that need to be understood. Point number 1, love does not override character deficits. Offset and DDG both showed character issues early: infidelity, irresponsibility, emotional volatility, and poor impulse control. These behaviors were not corrected at home. Instead, they were minimized, excused, or reframed, meaning they were not corrected by the parents at home. A man who has never been held accountable internally will externalize blame onto partners. Romantic love became a buffer against consequences rather than a catalyst for growth. When women stop compensating, the dysfunction escalates instead of resolving itself. So a relationship coaching tip that I want to give you for this point is observe how a man responds to correction very early on. If discomfort leads to defensiveness, denial, or blame shifting, that's a character issue, not a communication issue. An easy example of this is when you are, having a debate about something, or maybe you're more knowledgeable in an area than he is. Maybe you come from different socioeconomic statuses growing up, so you may know a little bit more than him when you're doing activities. See if he can handle just light correction. Not reprimand, that's not what we're here to do, but correction. If it's with a lot of defensiveness and denial, you really need to think hard if you want to remain in a relationship with this man. Point 2, self-sabotaging men seek women as shock absorbers. Cardi B financially and emotionally carried Offset while he repeatedly destabilized the relationship. I heard something crazy, and this is alleged, I don't know these people, that he cheated on her like every month for all the time they were together or married for like 7 years. Like, that is wild. Halle was placed in a position of emotional labor and tolerance while DDG's behavior worsened. He would jump on his streams and just bash her and act a fool. In both cases, the men relied on women to absorb chaos while avoiding personal responsibility. When support is removed, these men crash out instead of stabilizing. Boy moms often reinforce this dynamic by framing the women as the problem once she sets boundaries. Okay? Remember, if somebody is angry because you set a boundary, they were only happy when they could use or manipulate you. That is a dead giveaway, red flag waving that you need to get them out of your life. So, relationship coaching tip here is ask yourself, is his life more stable because of his choices or because someone is propping him up? Never date a man whose peace depends on your sacrifice. That is going to be a very harmful, potentially fatal relationship. All right. Point number 3. Abuse is sustained by silence and family enablers. And sadly, all of us have probably seen this within our own family in some way, shape, or form. Even if it's not our immediate family, we have seen it when we've gotten together in large groups with, extended family. Both Offset and DDG's mothers inserted themselves only after consequences appeared. Like with Offset, he been doing all this cheating and creeping. His mama has not said anything on social media, but soon as the divorce is coming and the fact that the money that she's probably being supported by is going to dry up because it comes from Cardi, now she's demanding something that she doesn't even have grounds to demand about about Blossom, their newest baby that Cardi B had, and if it's her son's, but you don't have a problem with your son having sex with other people. You just have this presumed problem if you think Cardi B was having sex with somebody else and got pregnant. But here's the tea. Even if Cardi did something like that, I don't believe she did, but even if she did, she would be the one supporting that child, not Offset. Silence during wrongdoing followed by loud defense during accountability is a classic enabler pattern. DDG's mother publicly discredited Halle after a restraining order was granted. After Halle went out and defended herself and did something that's on the record. Offset's family involvement escalated once Cardi cut off access, money, status, and proximity. These mothers did not call their sons in privately. They attacked the women publicly. And that's how you know it's very disingenuous and insincere. So a relationship coaching tip on this one is to pay close attention to how his family handles conflict. If you're dating a man, see how his family moves when it comes to conflict. If women are blamed and men are protected, that system will turn on you eventually. And that is not a system you want to be a part of because you know they will never be behind you and support you if he is the one in the wrong. That's a bad situation to be in. Point number 4. Vulnerability increases risk when men are entitled. Pregnancy, postpartum, and emotional dependence intensified control attempts. And if you notice, both Halle Bailey and Cardi B were pregnant, postpartum, and in Cardi's case, she had been dealing with this, but it intensified with this last child she just had. DDG allegedly escalated behavior during Halle's most vulnerable period. Offset's resentment surfaced more aggressively when Cardi reclaimed dignity. Entitled men often perceive women's vulnerability as leverage, not something to protect. This is why a lot of men say stuff, but it's not a joke. Oh, just put a baby in her when they want to slow a woman down and they want to block her blessing. They want leverage. They think it gives them more control. Boy moms who excuse this behavior normalize domination over care. A relationship coaching tip for you here is assess how a man treats women during low power moments. Compassion during vulnerability is non-negotiable. A low powered moment can be when somebody just lost their job, when something tragic happened to somebody. If a major life change happened, it's not necessarily tragic, but very impactful in a negative way to a woman. See how this man moves, treats, and talks about that woman. It is going to be exactly what he will do to you. Point number 5. Accountability is the ultimate deal breaker. Neither Offset nor DDG demonstrated sustained accountability without external pressure. Their mothers actively worked to rewrite narratives rather than confront truth. Courts, judges, and legal systems saw patterns that family denied. So public crash outs, diss tracks, and smear campaigns replaced reflection, which honestly makes the moms look like they have issues because both of them are too old for that foolishness. A man who has never been held accountable by his mother often expects romantic immunity. So a relationship coaching tip here is before committing, ask yourself, who has ever told him no? And what did he do when they did? If the answer is no one or everyone becomes the enemy, walk away. That man is a ticking time bomb. And it is a very unsafe space for you to be in with that man, meaning a relationship. So the bottom line is this: you are not just dating a man, you are dating the accountability culture that raised him. A toxic boy mom doesn't just enable bad behavior, she trains him to expect protection while causing harm. And this is where I want to leave you. It is not your job to outgrow a man while he stays the same. It is not your responsibility to be patient with dysfunction, to explain basic decency, or to fight a whole family just to be treated with respect. If a man was raised to believe his behavior will always be excused, defended, or blamed on someone else, love will not reform him. Time will not soften him, and sacrificing yourself will not earn you safety or loyalty. Grown women don't date projects. We assess patterns. We choose peace. We move accordingly. Now, if this conversation hit close to home and you're ready to stop repeating these cycles, this is exactly the kind of work we do inside my exclusive coffee group coaching community. That's where we break down real situations, sharpen discernment, rebuild self-trust, and learn how to date from standards instead of hope. If you're done being the emotionally responsible one in relationships that drain you, join us. The link is in the description below. Come sit with women who are choosing